Good evening, everybody. Thanks very much for joining us for our college night for the kickoff junior college night program. I'm very sorry that I can't join you live on the Zoom, but I've made this recording to give you an introduction to myself as well as an overview to the Naviance student website. So I've had the good fortune to work with some parents already before by having worked with students, your older children that have already gone through this process. I've also met some of you, juniors and parents, possibly during the sophomore year or maybe even your freshman year. But for those of you who I haven't had a chance to meet, my name is John Corona, and you can tell me apart from the other college counselors because I'm the one with the beard. But all kidding aside, as Jennifer said, we all have a great deal of experience. I'm in my 16th year here at Campbell Hall, and it's been a fantastic tenure. And prior to that, I did work in university admissions. Before coming to Campbell Hall, I spent 12 years at two different universities back on the East Coast. And during my time as a admission staff member, as well as a college counselor, I've worked with a wide variety of different students. Everything from students who have successfully applied to the Ivy League schools or to community colleges, students that have applied to UCs, Cal States, specialized art schools, specialized music schools, specialized engineering programs, the military academies, and everything else in between. So I'm really looking forward to working with all of my students. And, to start this process, really, what we're going to be talking about is Naviance students. So let me take a few minutes just to give you an introduction and an overview to the Naviance student website. Let me first of all state that Naviance is a very, very important tool that we use to disseminate information to students and to parents, guardians throughout the college search and application process. But it is also a way that we actually interact with and frankly start to get to know our students and their parents. But it's worth emphasizing that it's by no means a substitute for actual face-to-face interactions, which are really critical for college counselors to start to get to know our students and be able to give the best advice. So as I said, Naviance serves as a very, very solid and important foundation, but it's by no means a substitute for actually interacting with our students and being available for parents and guardians as well. So your first question is probably, where do I find this wonderful website and how do I access it? So shortly after this meeting, everyone here, every junior, every parent, guardian of a junior is going to receive an automated email. That email is going to come from our college counseling coordinator, Sue Kim. So shortly after this meeting, be on the lookout for an email from Sue Kim. And it will have a link to the Naviance student website, as well as your unique login information. This is the actual email itself. Again, you'll see that it comes from Sue Kim, and it has a link for the Naviance student website, as well as your login information. Your username is simply your email address. Now, this is going to be the case for both parents and for students. Students, it's going to be very likely your Campbell Hall email address. Parents, it's going to be whatever email address we have on file for you, where you get the same email where you get information from Campbell Hall, from the high school for anything. And then again, it does also have a temporary one-time use password. You're going to set up your own password. That's going to be the very first step, but you're going to use this temporary one-time use password the very first time. Now, when you click on this link, you're taken here to this login page. You put in your email address as your username. The password is going to be that temporary one-time use password that is included in the email. Now, for the sake of expediency, I've already logged into our test student account. Their name is Campbell, so we're going to be using Campbell as our test student. And this is Naviance. So I want to draw your attention to just a few things. First of all, here on the welcome page, this welcome message is actually really important. It's truncated, so to be able to read it in its entirety, you just click on Read More. And this is just a really great welcome to the college counseling, college search process. It gives you a little bit of an overview of the Naviance student website itself, but also, probably most importantly, it does outline what students and what parents, guardians have to do before a one-on-one meeting can be scheduled for the with your college counselor. So students, you're going to go through these tasks. There aren't very many, but they are important. And you're going to make sure that you're reading through these and doing what you're being asked to do. Parents, you also have homework in this process. So you want to take a look at what your tasks are. Your tasks are a little bit simpler. You only have one task, which is to fill out what we call the parent questionnaire. So again, this is really important. Take a close look at this. And again, we'll talk more about what these tasks are in just a minute. Now, also here on the homepage, there's also what we call the document resources. Scroll down almost all the way to the bottom of this welcome page, and you see a link for document resources. So click on that, and then there are a handful of folders here. The one that's obviously most relevant for you guys is College Resources 11 Junior. So click on that, and in here, you're going to find a lot of really great, helpful information. Everything from articles about how to approach this college search process in a sane sort of a way, but also some resources, including listings of summer programs. If anybody is interested in thinking about formal test preparation, SAT, ACT preparation, we do have a list of companies here that you might want to investigate and pursue. But there's also, again, some just helpful guides. Now, is every student, is every parent, guardian going to read through every one of these documents word by word? Maybe not, but we put these here for a reason. These are really helpful, very important resources. So again, take a look at what's in here. There's a very, very good chance that if you have questions about test prep or about, how to schedule a campus visit, or what should I be on the lookout for if I visit a university, there's really good information in here. So again, the document resources in Naviance is very, very important. So now, again, to the tasks, to the homework assignments, every student has a couple of things that you want to do. First and foremost is find out who is your college counselor. And to do that, it's up here in the the upper right-hand corner. You click on About Me, and then click on Portfolio, okay? And here you'll find just basic information included about yourself, including your counselor. Hey, look at that. Campbell got very lucky and has me as their college counselor. So again, this is where everybody will find out who their college counselor is. This information is visible to both the student accounts as well as to the parent guardian accounts. We do want students to also, again, take a close look at the other things that are in here as well. There isn't a lot, to be honest, but the profile does have some interesting information. Now, probably out of all the tasks that you have to complete, students, probably the most important is what we call the junior questionnaire. To find it, again, click on About Me, and then you can find it under Surveys from your school. In this case, it's going to be under Surveys Not Started. So click on Junior Questionnaire. And it has a number of questions. I'll be the first to admit that this is a pretty lengthy questionnaire. Some of the questions are fairly simple: your name, previous schools that you attended before coming to Campbell Hall, birth date, those types of things. But again, this questionnaire is designed to serve as a foundation for your college counselor to start to get to know you. So some of these questions start to get a little bit more introspective. How would you describe your family? Please include anything special or unusual about your family, background, shared interests, triumphs, challenges that has had an influence on you. Now, we don't expect students to write a full essay for each one of these questions, but we are asking students to be thoughtful and comprehensive about their responses. Please don't just write a one-sentence answer to each one of these questions just to get the survey done. Again, we are asking students that they start this introspective college search process by being introspective in answering the junior questionnaire. So go through these questions. It may take you a while to complete it. It is possible, of course, for you to work on this for a little bit, come back to it a couple of days later, and then complete it later. Always remember down here at the bottom, be sure to click on save and come back. Sometimes students will be working on this, they'll be typing out their questions, and then they'll just go to a different web page and not actually save. 30 minutes passes, they come back and actually start working on this again. Unbeknownst to them, the website actually logged them out after 30 minutes. And so any work that you do after that is going to be lost. So again, remember to always click save and come back if you're going to actually be working on this over time, okay? So again, be thoughtful in your responses. One thing you may note is that many of these questions are required. We do ask that you fill out something for each of these questions, but there are some that are optional. The ones that are required, you'll see have a red asterisk next to them. So of course, be sure that you are answering the questions with a red asterisk in particular. But as you get down to the lower part of the questionnaire, you may encounter some questions that are optional. We do encourage students to fill out the questionnaire completely, including the optional questions. But again, some of the questions are optional. So the junior questionnaire is, again, probably one of the most important things that you have to do for your tasks. Parents, you have a questionnaire as well. You'll find the parent questionnaire I'm logged in as a student right now, so I can't demo it, but parents, you have a parent questionnaire as well. Instructions for finding it will be located in this welcome message. And your questionnaire, thankfully, is quite a bit shorter. I believe there are only 6 questions to it. But again, like with the students, we're asking that parents be thoughtful in their responses. It's really important that students and parents, guardians understand we do not share your responses with anybody else, including your own parent, your own child. So students, you're free to volunteer your information, be very forthcoming in your responses. We do not share the survey questions, the survey responses with teachers, with your colleges or anything like that. So feel confident that you can be very forthcoming in your responses to the questionnaires. And again, that does go for both the students as well as for the parent guardians, okay? So again, the questionnaires are probably the most important thing that you have to complete in terms of tasks. Now, once you have completed those, we as college counselors, we're not going to be necessarily monitoring the completion of our students' and parents' tasks. Once you have all finished your tasks, you first of all collaborate with each other, talk to each other. Students, approach your mom and dad, approach your parent guardians and say, hey, have you guys done your questionnaire? I already did mine. Parents, of course, you can also prompt and prod your students as well. Once you know that you've each completed your tasks, then it's time to actually set up the first one-on-one meeting, or I should say family meeting, with your college counselor. Now, it's really important, going back to what I was saying a moment ago about how important it is that students take the initiative in this process. Students, it's your responsibility, not your parents. Students, it's your responsibility to set up the very first college counseling meeting with your parents, you, and your college counselor. And again, all of the juniors will be meeting tomorrow with their college counselors in a group setting, their very first group college counseling meeting. Each college counselor will go over in more detail what their individual process is for setting up a meeting. But you should know that the first meeting is going to be with at least one parent guardian. Both, of course, are welcome, but if only one parent or guardian can come to the meeting, then that's perfectly okay. You guys have been keeping up on the announcements from Campbell Hall. We are happy to announce that the college counseling meetings will be face-to-face. That's the default. If for whatever reason, if a parent or a guardian or a student even has some reason why they would like the meeting to be over Zoom, then talk to your college counselor. I'm sure there might be an exception that could be made, but the assumption is that these meetings will be face-to-face on campus. The very first meeting will include, as I said, at least one parent guardian. Both are welcome and should come, but if only one can come, that's okay. And the meeting should last probably about 45 minutes to about an hour. We can meet during the student's free block or many days after school, not necessarily every single day. Again, talk to your individual college counselor about their availability. But these meetings should happen during the student's free block. So again, to set this up, students, once you know that you've completed your questionnaire, you've talked with your parents, your mom and dad, your guardian about they've completed their questionnaire, then you're going to reach out to your college counselor and set up the first meeting. Again, it will be at whatever time is convenient for you, one or both parents, and your college counselor. So that's how this whole process gets started. Again, we're really looking forward to meeting with you guys after you've completed your tasks here in Naviance Student, and then getting this college search process underway. Just so you have a little bit of a preview, the very first meeting, we're going to cover a number of things, but it's just going to be the very first meeting. Okay, that's important to emphasize. This is going to be a process that happens over time. So in the first meeting, we won't necessarily get into every detail about the college search and application process, but we will be going over some of the foundational elements and talking about when the next meeting will be and how often we'll be meeting with the students. So again, keep that in mind that the first meeting is important and we'll cover quite a bit, but it's only going to be the first meeting. As I mentioned before, this process eventually is a process that is nurtured, where we're really getting to know our students over time. And that happens really through meeting with students over and over and over again so that we can give the best advice and information. So thank you all very much for coming to our college night. And again, I do wish I could be there to see you in person and live, but I'm really looking forward to meeting and working with all of my students. Have a good evening.